Okay, so now we're going to look at, we're trying to find out the values of sine, all the 30s and the 60s, okay? And for that, this time we're going to draw not a right angle triangle at all. We're going to draw an equilateral triangle, all with 60, okay? But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to add this vertical line from the top that's bisect this angle, and I'll also hit this side with 90 degrees. Okay, so it's 90 degrees here. Now, if this is 90 degrees and this is 60, then you can probably believe me when I say this is 30, isn't it? Okay, 60 plus 30, and that means that's going to be also 30. We said it's bisected. Okay, so this is also 90. Okay, now we're gonna, just like as we did with the other triangle, we're gonna decide on a random measurement of or length of the side. It doesn't really matter what size we use, because eventually we're just calculating ratios, if that makes sense, okay? But it's easier if I decide that the sides, all these sides are 2. Okay? They're all going to be the same because it's an equilateral triangle, isn't it? Okay? But now I also know that this this vertical line, which bisects the angles, must also bisect the side. There's a rule like that we learn in geometry, right? So if this is 2, then each one of these will be 1. You see that? Okay? Now we can start answering that question. Okay? What is sine 30? Sine 30 is the sine of this angle. Let's just look at this triangle now, on the right side. Okay? Sine 30 is the side opposite divided by the hypotenuse. It's 1 over 2. 1 over 2. Okay? Ooh, I realize there's one more thing that I forgot. Okay, so let's go. So if I want to know what cosine 30, okay, cosine 30 is the adjacent divided by hypotenuse. But I don't know what that is. How would I calculate that? You're right. We'll do a Pythagoras. Okay, so again, I'm going to call that x for a second, and I'm going to say 1 squared plus x squared will be equal to 2 squared, right? So again, I'm looking at this triangle. Right, I'm going to write x squared equal 2 squared minus 1 squared, which is 4 minus 1 is 3. Okay, so x equals square root 3. You see that? Square root 3. Okay, so I'm going to write down square root 3. Okay, and now I can calculate everything here. Why? Because cosine 30 is the adjacent square root 3 divided by hypotenuse 2. Okay? You see that? Okay? Tan 30 is the opposite, is 1 divided by the adjacent square root 3. And if you remember in the video you just watched, I can also multiply the top and the bottom by the same number. In this case, I will time it by square root 3. So that's going to be equal to square root 3 times 1, which is square root 3. What is square root 3 times square root 3? It's just 3. Okay? Yeah, it's just for you to be able to recognize these fractions. They're the same. Okay? And sine 60, now I'm going to look at this angle. Sine 60, I'm going to look at this angle. Okay? I can look at that one, but it doesn't matter. Okay? I can't look at this 60. Why can't I look at this 60? Any ideas? 60. Because it's not in a 90 angle triangle. Only I work with 90 degrees triangles. Okay? So I'm going to work with this 60. So sine 60 is that opposite divided by adjacent. Square root 3 over 1, which is just square root 3. Okay? Cosine 60 is the adjacent over the hypotenuse is 1 over 2. Okay? And tan 60 is the opposite, okay? Opposite divided by the adjacent is square root 3 over 1, which is square root 3. I just realized I made a mistake here. Sorry, guys. Okay, that can't be the same. Sine 60. I made a little mistake in sine 60. Sine 60 is opposite divided by hypotenuse. Okay, so it's divided by 2, not by 1. Right? Now, have a look at it for a second. You can see something here, isn't it? There is a little bit of a pattern. Not pattern, symmetry. Symmetry is the right word. Look at this. Sine 30 is the same as cosine 60. You see that? Half, half. Cosine 30 is equal to sine 60. Alright? And tan 30 is equal to tan 60. Oh, it's not equal to that. Sorry, I will have to do with cotang, but never mind. Okay, I don't have the cotangs here. Okay? So we've got some kind of symmetry which we're going to look at later on. Okay? And the last thing I just want to say with this little short video is I've been telling you, if I, for example, used, instead of 2, I would use, let's say, 4. And that will be 4. And that will be 4. And that will be 2. And that will be 2. And the ratio, when I would come to calculate sine 30, cosine 30, it's all going to be the same. Because it's all about ratio. Right? 2 over 4 is the same as 1 over 2. Does that make sense? Okay, so we're done with a special, I'm gonna do one more little video. Well, let's just do it now. Let's just do it now. I'll just pause you here for a second. Okay, back with you now. So before I set you on exercise 4, okay, that's what we're working for, exercise 4. I want to do one example with you. So with trig, sometimes we have to solve equation like we do with any things in math, okay? So I've got this equation, 2 cosine x minus square root 3 equals 0. What am I actually looking for? I'm looking for x, isn't it? What is x? Whenever x is next to the cosine or sine, x means it's an angle. So I'm looking for what angle agrees, not the word, what angle makes this equation work, valid. Okay? What angle x must be to make this work? So this is how you do it, okay? Just kind of like when we try and find x, we isolate it, we do similar thing, but instead of isolating x, we isolate cosine x. So I'm going to push the square root 3 to the other side. I'm going to write 2 cosine x equals square root 3. Just simple algebra. Okay, I added square root 3 on both sides. Then I divide by 2 to get rid of that 2. Cosine x equals square root 3 over 2. Okay, now I want to get rid of that cosine. But I can't divide it by cosine. That doesn't make sense. I can't because I'm not multiplying cosine by x. I'm applying cosine on x. Okay? I'm not timing it, so I can't divide it. So I need to just ask myself, which x will make cosine x equal square root 3? And I'm going to look here, I'm going to look here for cosine that make it square root. Oh, here we go. This is it. Cosine 30 equals square root 3 over 2. So, in other words, the answer is 30. Okay? I need to know that the angle 30 makes cosine 30 square root 3 over 2, so x equals 30. Later on, we're going to look at how to use a calculator to do that. But with the special angles, you actually need to do it without using a calculator. Okay, right. Now you can do exercise 4, and please, any questions, ask me on WhatsApp. I know it's a new thing. Trig is quite new for you. Let me know.